So it's not out of the question, I told her.
What about Lily? Do you have any idea what she might do?
You know, I thought I bought that property. She told me she
The
went to
kids.
the kids took her to the attorney. They said that it's all done. I made an offer. She said good. She went to the attorney. I got me an attorney and never heard another word.
Really?
She changed her mind as soon as the kids left town.
I can't imagine why she would want to, you know what I mean?
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Janet's gonna lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item up, privilege of the floor. Did you want to address the board, Dave?
Thank you. I don't know how many of you current board members, did you ever address the board before you were a board member?
I think I did once or twice.
I've been to meetings, but I've never addressed the board before, but I'm just curious. I know I'm not supposed to take a lot of time, so I've tried to figure out what I could say and hopefully how I could say it to get some interest and some meaning across. I want to equate what my purpose here is to a siren and a fire scene. So my purpose is to be the siren. And obviously before that event begins, somebody has to be an observer, I guess, to be able to call 911 or call the fire department or whatever. So, so I guess in this case I'm calling myself the observer and I'm the siren. Obviously after that, I've never been a firefighter, so really nobody knows a whole lot when the siren goes off. But those who are hooked into the system, of course, they got radio, so then they're gonna start getting some information before they get to the scene. Now, it's at the scene and through some of that earlier information that the whys, the wheres, the when, the who, the how, the what begin to get answered. So, the topic that I want to bring to an awareness, if it's not, my understanding, the reason I'm doing this, my understanding is most people are not aware of this at all. And I think probably people that have been working either at the village level, the town level, or the county level here in Delaware County, have definitely rubbed shoulders with what I'm going to talk about briefly, but most likely, I have never met a person yet that understood the seriousness of what's going on. That's why I'm here. This book is called Sustainable: The War on Free Enterprise, Private Property, and Individuals by Town Mtg. Mr. Mtg, I probably bumped into him through the mail and the types of things that I do and carry on my communication throughout the country and Delhi many years ago. This book was printed in 2018. He has been on the forefront of this. There are others, but he has been on the forefront of this issue for 20 plus years. Probably the whole 28 years it could be on. But what is going on, what this book will explain, which originally came out of the UN, United Nations, and has been disseminated all over the place, but certainly in the United States. That took place in 1992. And President Clinton gave his okay for this to start occurring in the United States. So this will affect every one of our lives. It is already, because it's been going on for 28 years. I know for a fact that the village has been playing with it for a long time without probably realizing what they're doing. I'm sure probably the town has, and probably the county has, but I'm really not aware of those details. I just want to read the overview, which is just one page of this book, Sustainable, just so you have an idea. What I intend to do is, I gave Elsa one the other day, it's the only other one I had other than my personal copy, because I've given the other ones away. I'm gonna buy new ones, and I'm gonna get them to your board members. What I'm hoping you'll do is look at this seriously and begin to read the book. Well, I think when you read the book, the whole book, which is not a big book, you'll get a good idea what's going on, and then maybe kind of think about the past, or even the present, to who and, you know, where this has been, and what you've actually seen already without perhaps knowing. This book is a beginning for the many Americans who know little or nothing about the threat of sustainable development and how it affects their future. I have not attempted to tell everything about this issue. To do so would take a multi-volume encyclopedia set. Therefore, I haven't included subjects such as population control, healthcare, full details on smart meters, the public education system, or the role sustainable development plays in creating a total surveillance society. That information certainly exists, and I have addressed it in other writings. However, here I decided to produce the basics so that even the new reader is able to wrap their head around this massive issue. In addition, I fully believe that it isn't necessary to know every detail to fight sustainable development because, as I point out in the book, if private property rights can be fully protected, then sustainable development can be stopped in its tracks. So that's the focus of this book. This book can be a valuable tool for elected officials attempting to understand the origins and the inevitable results of policies being forced on them. In addition, focusing on protecting property rights is the best advice for local and state activists who want to fight it. Sustainable, the war on free enterprise, private property, and individuals details how an outside force can create a plan to take over the world by gaining the assistance of its intended victims. It's happening in every nation of the world, in every state of our nation, and in every community. It is eating our freedoms like cancer. It is evil, and it must be stopped. This book is where to learn how to do it. So there's other things in this book I really like to read, but that's not the purpose here. So I'm going to get these books to your 4 board members. I'm hoping that you'll take it seriously, because it will affect, and does affect, everything in our lives. You won't even be here if it all takes place, because you won't be aboard anymore. Because this is all about destroying representative government, which is part of what the United States was formed to be in a constitutional republic. We already did this, there'd be no reason to even salute that flag. There'd be no reason to go into each individual part of that pledge and look at what that really is supposed to mean, and did mean, at one time, and take it seriously, because that'll all be gone, it won't matter. You won't have to do that. And the reason why I came, actually this is not the reason I was gonna come tonight, but when I was thinking about what I was gonna come for some reason, I've had this stuff, I once in a while talk to an individual or something, but I haven't done anything in a big way. I just decided it's time to get it out there. The reason why I came too is because, believe it or not, even though you're only a 4-person board, it is at these levels that this can be stopped. This is not an issue where you take it to your congressman, et cetera. This really needs to be done at the towns and the villages and the county. And Mr. Deweese, he runs on a small budget. It's whatever people like myself send him to keep the mission going, to get the word out. This is all tied to Agenda 21, which of course they changed the name again because various reasons, but usually because somebody gets onto it, then they change the name. He goes, I'd like to see in the future, would be that the town, the village, and the county representatives actually were to look at this seriously eventually, the sooner the better, and then I'd love to be able to get Tom to come here. He goes all over the country and speaks, he's been in Congress and all that kind of thing, but, you know, money. So, here's my last question. So I said I was the siren, and I was equating it to a fire and a fire scene and so forth. So the question is, what happens when the siren goes off and nobody responds? So I thank you for allowing me to speak.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Okay, we'll move on. Approval of the January 14th public hearing minutes and regular monthly meeting minutes. Any corrections, additions, or is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Old business, we've all gotten a copy of the draft of local law number 1, I believe. We got the cart ahead of the horse last month. So tonight, we need to authorize the clerk to advertise a public hearing for, I would say, 6:45, the next regular meeting. If somebody wants to make that motion. Motion by Matt, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Okay. Does anybody have any other old business? I thought it was an awful short list, but it's a good thing. Moving on to new business. I had a letter waiting for me when I got back from vacation that DEC is coming down, whether we like it or not, to do testing around the swimming pool site. And they're saying the town is the owner of a solid waste site, which I kind of disagreed with that, but, I've signed the authorization so they can come down and do their testing. And I made it clear that if they find anything, it's gonna be the village's responsibility. Because Dave and I went back through the paperwork when the property transferred, and nowhere did they disclose that they were giving us a solid waste site. Which I think would be rather important. So having said that, I'll keep you apprised as to when they plan on showing up. And they said we can tag along and witness what they do too.
No idea when, just.
I would say probably in the next month or so.
Are they saying that, where you have the pool is
That's their claim.
a site of, I thought what you're saying, that's.
Well, I could get into details. There was a letter sent to them by the mayor that basically stated it was a dump and it'd always been a dump and he knew it'd always been a dump, and we dug up landfill debris when we built the pool. So, I'm not sure what his motivation was, but he kinda ticked me off, and, we're not talking too much right at the moment. But, like I said, I was not real impressed with the DEC letter. It was kind of a nasty gram, and said I had 5 days to sign the letter or else, and I think it'd been 2 weeks before I actually got the letter, so. I sent him a rather pointed email and I never got a response, so. We'll see where it goes from here. Let's see, next up. We've got the list of, budget amendments to balance out the books for last year. Does anybody have any questions on any of the lines? Maybe tried to kind of put down an explanation of, where things got overspent, and why. Look like you have a question.
The amounts for the playground and rec were more than the 60,000 that we initially anticipated. I'm just wondering if there's a breakdown of what all went into that. I mean, was that all for?
Well, the problem was we only had the one line, so paying for contractors and everything else was coming out of that. There was some money that hadn't been paid to finish out the contractors, because they had to do a little bit of final. So some of that came out of there.
And that was above the actual cost
That was
of,
above the 60,000.
and that was above the costs that were already covered with, paying for the pool construction, so.
Well, and what happened, we had to spend some of the money ahead of
Okay.
grant money coming in. So, some of the money is being transferred from money that came in after the fact. So, we're trying to get things caught up and cleaned up. I think this will get us pretty much there. And on a related note, we did, get an email, they've approved our, grant disbursement agreement contract that I sent in. It's been forwarded to the lawyers in Albany, and as soon as they sign it and send it back, we can ask for reimbursement.
Is that for the bonus?
That's for the bonus grant. So, the last one on the truck, I think, took 3 or 4 weeks to make it through the legal department up there, but we should be hearing something soon. Any other questions on the, budget amendments? Is there a motion to approve the budget amendments for last year?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Let's see.
When are we going to the vendor thing? Is that
I
gonna
think
be-
we'll do that, yeah, I think we'll do that next under new business, cause I know Peg had some
Okay.
pool issues she wanted to talk to us about, and, we can deal with those in the new vendor permit.
Okay.
So, you wanna address the board now, Peg?
Yes, actually, the vendor permit is is my first thing, and that was because, I wanted to, they were in your box. The application itself didn't change, but the addition of one bullet on the, requirements was the background check. And if I'm not mistaken, and Janet can correct me, I think Mike Mills has agreed to do them at no cost.
That's what he told me when I met with him earlier this year.
So we did that, and then we also spoke at length about what would you charge as a fee. That is totally up to the board's discretion. We came up with $25 as this year, trying to initiate people coming and assuming they weren't coming to stay, but maybe to stop in and try the waters out, so to speak. So that, we're bringing that to the board for consideration. Definitely doesn't have to be something that has to be done immediately this month or next as we prepare for the summer season. Request the transfer of $1,465.91, which was the cost of the AED, so that it was paid out of the general, and we'd like to know if it could be transferred from the donated funds back into the line item 1740.4, which is our budget. In other words, transfer it from savings to cover the AED, which the Matucci's had donated the $5,000, and, Janet helped us get that. we were also, in your packet also is 2 survey maps that are just for your interest and for you to have a copy of that area. They were made at the courtesy of Tom Leo. And he stopped today. He had also done up a thumb drive, and that becomes the property of the town. And he did stop in and get a blank thumb drive, and he's going to bring that into Elsa, so that'll be on file here for you. And then Elsa can release it to the any select playground company that we pick to choose to help us with the planning and designing of the playground eventually. PAC, this has been working on for about a year or more. PAC approved in their meeting the purchase of a bronze plaque, 16 by 20, a donor recognition plaque at a cost of less than $1,500, which will be paid through the $10,000 donation from this past summer. And I didn't know if I needed your blessing or we needed your blessing. I brought a copy of it tonight, the rough draft, so to speak. I didn't bring the proof, but we'd like to use part of the donation, part of the savings in order to pay for that. That would go on the side of the building. The 4 by 8 brick project appears to be ready to launch. There are some community members and organizations that are interested in this project. These are engraved bricks, and they would edge the sidewalk, and that's nothing that PAC can be doing under the town, but if there is somebody in the community, and there appears to be, they would launch a project of that nature. And the engraved bricks are gotten by different organizations, different people in the community or wherever who are interested in contributing. When you get ready to send out the mowing bid, if it's possible, we could confer. Some things came up last year that we wondered if it should go into the bid. With the grass clipping and the things on the interior of the fencing and the grass that got into the water. So we're wondering about a bagging method or something, which might have to be in the bid. I wasn't sure. And so far, and I guess maybe it's early by everybody's standards, unless Elsa got some today, we have no applications have come in for the director position, the water safety instructor positions, or the lifeguard positions. So, it is February, maybe it's too early, but we'll talk about that at our next meeting and try to strategize and figure out what we would do, what if. That's it.
With the, I think the vendor number that you mentioned, if we do have to approve the dollar figure, that's, I mean, it should be something low. It would continue to be something low, so I think that's a good number personally, the $25, unless you wanna do it for even less.
You wanna make that motion?
If it's, yeah, I'd like to just at least
Okay.
get some action on it.
Motion that we set the vendor permit fee for this year, $25. Is there a second?
Is it just to be one for the application, or every time that they wanna be down there, they have to pay $25? I'm not totally clear on how.
It'd be for the season.
Yeah.
For the season. You seconded, Christine? All in favor? Aye. Carried. As far as the plaque, yes, the board would have to approve spending the money, and if we have to spend money on the bricks and whatnot, or whatever, that would have to be approved by the board.
We're hoping that the brick project, it would have to be independent of us. You know, so it would,
That would
Yeah.
be more the pool committee than the PAC.
Is it a fundraiser?
it could be conceived as a fundraiser. So that's why we're kinda out of it. We had it all worked on, for more than a couple of years, and so we have it set up. But we also realize now there are people, independent, completely independent of us, who are interested in launching it and taking it forward. And we'd have to see how, it's up to them, but they would certainly wanna come to you to see that it was okay that they put down bricks, and lined the sidewalk and gave you kind of presentation that it looked okay and you thought it was a pretty good idea.
Yeah, because PAC and the town, neither one can fundraise,
Mhm.
so that's why the pool committee is still active. They can fundraise and donate, to the town.
Got it.
But the bronze plaque is ready to go, but that is, we were hoping to be able, that has also been going on for a while, but we were hoping that might be able to come out of the savings. That, some of our high donors, it's our way of recognizing them and showing appreciation.
Somebody wanna make a motion when we authorize PAC to have the plaque done at a cost not to exceed 1,500, you said?
Mhm.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, and I will bring for everybody the, proof of what the plaque will look like, because it is yours, and we'll wanna be sure it's okay with you, what you see.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Don't want to do this. Moving on to committee reports. Heavy machinery.
So, obviously, the list, and Darren, do you want to talk about your recommendations for positions?
Sure. To fill our open operator spot, or the equipment operator spot, proposing for Sean Ackerley to fill that spot. Sean's a Delhi resident, and he's been working with us for the past month and a half, filling in, doing the job that has been vacant. And we still have the mechanics position vacant also, and Dennis Miller has applied for that. Dennis has also been working with us for the past month and a half, also doing the work of the vacant position there also.
Okay, the only problem we've got there is that's gonna have to go through county personnel
Okay,
to make sure that he's got the qualifications that are in what's
okay,
filed with them. They have to certify our paper, so everybody has to basically have the training or experience or combination that is
Okay.
set for that position. But
the,
if you wanna get his stuff together for me, I can take it to Linda Pinner, cause I've got a meeting with her probably later this week.
alright. Where does that leave us with the operator?
Operator, that's, as long as he has a CDL, right? That's the only real requirement on that position. Somebody wanna make a motion to, authorize Darren to hire Sean Ackerley as an operator? That's gonna be filling which
That's,
slot?
Chris Cole's vacant spot.
Chris's vacancy.
Yeah.
Got the rate set by the union contract, of course.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you know what that rate is right off the top of your head? Yeah, I'm looking at them, put it in the minutes.
Do you have the contract?
I don't think I have the
Do you have the
contract.
revised numbers of the contract?
We could have to make sure it goes in the minutes, so.
Yeah, just make sure we get the revised. It's pretty sad when we have two revisions to a 4-year union contract in the first 2 weeks of the year. But
Is that what yours was?
Corrected as of 1/9/20,
Yeah.
What was that?
2236 for the operator CDL,
Sounds like
2020.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm also appointing Brian Rosenthal as an interim deputy highway superintendent at this point.
And I had talked to Linda Pinner on that, because she said from the start Brian could still be
Yeah,
the deputy,
okay,
so that's not gonna be a problem.
alright.